Yeah. This is so crazy how everything is so different. This is such
Yeah.
a video because we are really shocked. I'm like, wait, so everything is really different. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another collaboration video. This one is with Bex. If you guys don't follow her YouTube, Instagram, you definitely should. It's Bex, not Bex. I'll put it all down below for you guys so you can spell it. But yeah, we're just going to go through and discuss like the differences between hybrid learning and completely online. As you guys know, UCLA is completely online. She is at Emory and they are hybrid. It's actually like a very interesting schedule. So definitely a good video. I don't know if you guys will be hybrid or online next fall, but we never know. So I figured you guys may, want some information about both. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll go ahead and get started with the video. We do have Bex on my channel today. I wanted to have her on here just because, she's going to actually, you're going to my number one choice. You know that, right? Like I wanted to go to, I really wanted to go to Emory. That was my number one choice. They waitlisted me. No big deal. I have no idea. I don't know. I think it's because I didn't have a 165. I really think their cutoff thing for my GPA was a 165 and I had a 164. So positive that's why. If not, I don't know. Because I literally lived 12 minutes from them. So I don't know.
I was saying, I remember you were working down here and living here, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't know. So yeah, that's another reason why you're here. But also we're gonna compare the difference between hybrid and then fully online. As you guys know, UCLA is fully online. Bex is at Emory where they are hybrid. Hybrid, I guess they call it, right? Yeah. So we're gonna go through a few questions, talk about our experiences, what's different, what's not. So I guess the first question for you, Bex, after you introduce yourself, you can answer the question too. How are you finding law school overall so far?
Okay. What's up, guys? Like she said, my name is Bex. I am a 1L at Emory Law. I also do YouTube. I've been documenting my law school journey as well. So if you guys want to check my channel out, it's Bex, just BEX. And my Instagram is @BexNotBex_. So just quickly plug that in.
I'll put them down below too.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, I'm just glad to be here. Thank you for hitting me up to talk about 1L of a journey. So how have I been finding law school? So far, it has been a challenge unlike anything I've really done before. I will say I feel like in the things that I've done in the past with undergrad and being a former, doing athletics in undergrad as well, I think I did a bunch of different things that kind of prepared me for this one big thing, which was law school. So I feel like I'm starting to see certain parts of time management and just certain skills that I need to have here for law school that I was practicing in my former life. But this is just the culmination of all of that together. And initially it was super overwhelming. Mm-hmm. But I will say that as I kind of moved along, I got the groove, I got into the hang of things, and it's still definitely challenging. Mm-hmm. However, I do have more of an idea of how I want to approach the whole process now. I mean, it is past the midway point, so I wish I would have figured some of this stuff out sooner, which I'm sure we'll get into later on. But I think just overall, the initial feeling was definitely just overwhelming. How am I supposed to do all of this? Seeing the whole thing ahead of you was very scary.
Yeah, same. And I'm just like you. I feel like now I'm okay, this is what I need to do, but I should have been doing this earlier. I don't think I did everything wrong, which we'll talk about, but it's some stuff I'm I wish I would have figured out I didn't have to do all this reading a long time ago, because then I could have been doing more outlining. So yeah, it's little stuff like that I'm I wish, but okay, I know now. So yeah. Okay, but how do you like Atlanta though? Tell them where you were living before.
From the Washington, D.C. area. I live right outside, about 5 minutes out on the Virginia side. And I would say that DC and Atlanta are very comparable. They've got very similar vibes. I will say Atlanta is still slower than DC. DC, I mean, everything goes on in DC. Politics, business, you name it, it's happening in DC. So I think it's just shy of New York over there, Yeah. But I will say that Atlanta really compares to it. And it also is, I think, the best place for someone of my age, in that kind of early 20s range, to transition into the business world, like to transition into just like being a young professional, because it's not super overwhelming, but there's limitless possibilities. And that's like the first thing that attracted me towards coming to Atlanta. And I've been loving my decision so far. Like, I love it down here. The food is amazing. The weather's been good. The people are friendly. That, you know, DC is cool and everything, but I think there are certain personality types. There's a certain kind of way that people move that if you're not really from there, you will be definitely like, it will definitely put you off at first.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
I don't know how else, you know, it's kind of that head down type of like, don't really, you know, it's kind of weird if people smile at you or say, hey, how you doing? You're like, okay, I have somewhere to be. You know, if you're not talking to me about, you know, help, like if you're not helping me get to where I need to be, or, you know, vice versa, it's not really like, why are we having this conversation?
Yeah.
It can be very intimidating. So down here, just people are way more friendly, way more willing to help, just slower in general. So people aren't always like, I don't have time for you, whatever. You know, networking with people that are already in the profession has been a lot less intimidating than I thought it was going to be. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I would say like I've been to DC a few times and I definitely thought people were rude. Like I held the door for somebody and they just walked off and I stood there for like 2 minutes like, did you not? Like, that was my first interaction. So like, yeah, I personally don't know if I could live in DC. You never say never, but yeah, I was just like, y'all are rude. Why are y'all being so mean to me? Like, so yeah, in Atlanta, I agree. Good food for sure. I definitely miss like 12 Atlanta places I could think of right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to connect me to some places because I've been doing like a whole food tour every weekend. It's my way of like partying.
Oh my God. Okay. So you should look on this is for everybody else too, but on my personal Instagram, I have like highlights for food.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes. Look. But yeah. Okay. So Atlanta for sure. I definitely think it's a good place to build relationships, network, professionalism, even like in terms of like starting your life, like buying a house in Atlanta, all of that is going to be way better than DC, especially way better than LA. So yeah, I think Atlanta's a very good place to start off for sure. Even, I mean, stay forever, honestly. So yeah.
I'm excited to see just kind of how it like, how I develop here, you know, whether or not it does end up being the place that I stay or, you know, kind of like establish myself. I could definitely see that it will be like a good place to at least start like the first 2-3 years of my career.
Yeah, definitely. So moving like specifically to law school though, like what classes are you taking right now?
So for at Emory, the 1Ls in the fall, we're taking contracts, civil procedure, torts, and then we take this class that I don't know if a lot of people, maybe it's like called something different at other schools, but we take legislation and regulation. It's really like the best way for me to describe it is like an intro to con law. We read a lot of Supreme Court decisions and just kind of talk about like executive agencies and just the legislative process in general, how to interpret, you know, legislative intent, just things like that. So, I mean, again, it's not really a class that everyone takes and you don't really get to choose. It's a 2-credit class, but it's interesting. And also legal writing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So every single 1L is taking the same schedule? Like your sections don't have different schedules?
Oh no, we have different schedules. It's just that those are the classes that we all take. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's different from UCLA. So like with us, like some people are taking contracts, some people are taking property, some people.
Oh, I forgot to add contracts.
Oh, no, you said contract. But yeah, like ours is just different though. Like each section can be taking a different mixture of classes. So like this semester I'm taking tort, civil procedure, criminal law, and legal research and writing. But then there's some people that are taking property, some people that are taking contracts, some people that are taking constitutional. Yeah, like it's really random. Each section is kind of like mixed up. Like some people are even taking torts and contracts while I'm taking torts and civil procedure. Like, but they're in my same torts class, but we're not taking the same classes. Right. So yeah, it's actually, I don't know how they decided. We have like super sections too though. Do you have that? Do you have a section and a super section? Okay.
Yes. So they will divide us like, we have section A and we'll pretty much have all the same professors except for our legal writing professor. And then the section A will be like A1 and A0, I think, are the two for there. So I think there's about like 2 or 3 subsections per super sections, if I'm
Okay, I get what you're saying.
We're still all taking, no matter what, the whole 1L class is still taking all the same subjects.
That's crazy, but it's actually good though, because then you have more people to talk to about the classes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I've been finding. It's been a lot. It's been easier to kind of find different people to like talk to and do study groups with. I mean, and again, that could just be the difference of like us being a hybrid and y'all being completely online.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know how the sections work beforehand, because I think we have 8 sections, and then like my super section, I'm in section 7. My super section is 7 and 8, so we all take torts together. And in like my LRW, legal research and writing, the sections, it's like 10 or 12 sections, and like some people in my section are in that. It's just weird. It's weird. I don't know. We may have more people. I wonder is Emory smaller or bigger than UCLA? I don't know.
We have about 300, I believe.
I have no idea.
Probably less than that. I think a couple of people dropped off in the beginning, but
like, I have no idea whatsoever. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I'm like, no, I wasn't expecting that. I don't know why I thought all
that's more work on their part to kind of like, get y'all into all these different.
Yeah. That's interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. Now I feel like it's bad because I feel like I would have had more people to talk to. Whatever. Okay.
I am interested. You should definitely try and see if you can find out like what the sections were like before.
Yeah, I definitely should. And then like, so do you like next year, like next semester, are you going to have the same classes with all the same people?
I think so.
Okay.
I think, again, we'll take all the same subjects in the whole 1L, and then your section stays the same. Okay. And our schedules will change though. And I mean, I think I can talk about that a little more when we get into what the hybrid looks like, but we will have less classes in person based on our legal writing professor. Like,
okay. Oh.
And so that's where, I don't know. So maybe things aren't as simple as they seem here, but I'm still trying to figure it out too, because, we're in the process of signing up. We get to have an elective next semester. Oh. So we get to kind of pick class.
Wait, but like, is it between like, do you have a list you can choose from? A small list?
It's like a list of, I think about like 7 classes, 6 or 7 classes.
Like what are some of them?
So some of them will be like family law, environmental law, intellectual property, business administration.
Yeah.
And I know there's definitely another one that I'm missing, but I think it might be evidence. Because that's definitely like one of the required classes that we need to take before we graduate. And so I think they open that up to us next semester, but they kind of just say, word around town is like, try and pick a class that's not going to add a lot more stress to your already stressful load next semester.
So will you have 4 classes or 5 classes next semester?
I will have 5 classes. So I'll have crim, I'll have con, property, legal writing again, and then my elective.
Okay. And right now you have 5 too, right? Mm-hmm. So we only have 4. We have 4 and then 4.
Okay.
Okay.
And so but I guess for you, how much is your how many credits is your legal writing class?
I think 5, and we don't get a grade for it until next semester. Like, do you get a grade?
Oh, okay. See, ours is 2 this semester and 2 next semester.
So yeah, that's how it is. But like, it's broken down, but we still don't get a grade. So like this semester, I only have 3 grades.
Wow.
Yeah. This is so crazy how everything is so different. This is such a video because we are really shocked. I'm like, wait, so everything is really different.
Straight.
I only have 3 grades, and then next semester I'll have 4.
And so California schools are usually like trimester schools, aren't they? But are you doing
UCLA? Yeah, they're like that, but ours is just like regular, whatever. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, y'all are getting the full. You're getting West Coast.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So you talked about your classes. Which ones are online and which ones are in person?
So this is where it gets tricky with the hybrid for this semester, and I'll tell you why they've realized that this has to change for next semester. So every class I have, except for contracts and legislation and regulation, So my 3 other classes, my legal writing class, my torts class, and my Civ Pro class, all 3 of those are both in person and online.
Wait,
so
I remember you said this in your video too.
Yeah, so
Either.
And I think administration realized, like, as cute of an idea as it was, they were trying to get us, all mixed up and give everyone a fair opportunity to be in person as much as they could. It just is created a lot more confusion than it needed to. So, for example, I'll just tell you. So, on Monday, Monday I have my legal writing class in the morning, and I'll be in person. Then in the afternoon, I'll be online with legislation and regulation. Okay. So I'm in person in the morning, online in the afternoon. Then Tuesday, I have contracts online in the morning, and in the afternoon, I'm in person for Civ Pro and torts, which are back to back. Okay. So that'll be like a Monday, Tuesday. Right. And then Wednesday, I have Civ Pro and torts again online.
But you just had them in person the day before. Okay.
And then again, I'll have Civ Pro and torts on Friday online.
Okay, so you only go to those classes once a week in person?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have contracts completely online twice a week. Okay. Legislation and regulation completely online twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like that?
Well, I think at first I did, because I didn't really know any better. So I was like, okay, this is what, I guess this is what hybrid is like. So at first I really didn't think anything of it. Right now it's only tough because that back to back. So for example, when I'm at torts and Civ Pro on Tuesday in person, we're sitting in that class from 1 to 4:30, just having those classes right after the other. We get a quick little break, so I go outside as best, really fast, maybe eat a granola bar or something. It's it feels so long. Maybe to some people 3.5 hours doesn't seem that long, but when you're sitting there and you're just trying to focus for 2 classes, especially torts and Civ Pro.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's a lot. And I just had contracts that morning for 2.5 hours on Zoom. So that whole day, my Tuesdays and Fridays, oh my gosh.
Wait, you have a 2.5 hour class?
Yeah, my contracts class, because so it's the same. It's a 4-credit class, just like civil procedure and torts, but because they only made it twice a week, which I don't really know why, but they made it twice a week. We have to have it for 2.5 hours both days.
Yeah, there's no way. And what time? Okay, so wait, what time does your schedule start in the morning?
On that Tuesday schedules, Tuesday and Fridays, my days will start at 9.
Okay.
But really, my day will start 2 hours.
Yeah, because you got to drive in Atlanta.
And but those days, so for the morning, I will be in person. I mean, online though. So I just roll out of bed. But on the days that I have legal writing in person, that class starts at 8:30. So I'll be up super early and leaving the house around 8 to get to class in time. Okay.
You don't live far from Emory, right? What do you live?
Actually, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't live far at all. I live really down the road, probably about 8 minutes.
You don't have to get on the interstate, so that works out.
Yes. Yeah. And I was I at least did enough research to know that I did not want to be hopping on and off of that. So that was good.
Okay. So that's a no. If you're moving if you want to go to Emory, or I don't know what other law schools are in Atlanta, Georgia State maybe?
I think, and John
Marshall, yeah. If you're thinking about that, I would definitely say try to live close if you are going to be hybrid or going in person, just because Atlanta traffic can be crazy, unless you just don't care, because even LA traffic is crazy. I still moved far out, but that's because I was used to Atlanta traffic, so I was just same old. So yeah, it didn't bother me. But okay,
if you think living out further is actually going to save you a lot more money, you're really not going to save as much as you think. It is worth to pay the extra $100 to live closer and not have to worry about traffic.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the areas. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah. If anybody has any questions about where to live in Atlanta, you can reach out to either one of us. I'm sure we can give you some advice.
Definitely.
But okay, so So, okay, my classes are only an hour and 15 minutes long. Like every single class is an hour and 15 minutes long. So my schedule starts at 10:45, my first class, Monday. So Monday and Thursday, I have three classes. I have criminal that starts at 10:45 to 12. And then I have torts from 1:45 to 3. And then I have civil procedure from 3:30 to 4:45. Monday, Thursday. And then Tuesday, I wake up, I have criminal again at 10:45 to 12. And then my civil procedure class is broken up. So like we have two classes a week that are all 40 people. And then we have one class that is just 20 people that's broken down. So like so it's like on Tuesdays, I'll have criminal, and then at 1:45, I'll have civil procedure, but it's like my smaller section, and it's only 20 of us in there. And then there's a 3:00 class with the other 20 people that would have been in my class.
Okay.
So I don't know why they did it like that. And then also, because we're in a smaller section, I have a writing assignment due in my civil procedure class too. So we had a midterm, and then we have an ungraded writing assignment due.
What kind of writing assignment would you need to do for?
I looked at it. I haven't done it, obviously, knowing me, but I glanced.
Download document.
Literally, I was like, okay, I'll do it. It's due on November 6th, so I need to do it. But it's just like a scenario, and you have to go through and like talk about the process and like what they would need to do. But it's like, I think no more than 6 pages or something.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that sounds like something you would just have done, like an essay you would have done for the exam.
Exactly. So then we had a midterm in his class too. So that's Tuesday. So Tuesday, just those two classes. And then on Wednesday, I have my legal research and writing at 10:35 until 1. So that's the only class that's like an hour and 25 minutes. I have no idea why. Just 10 more minutes. And then after that, I have torts, I want to say, at 1:45. I think so, yeah. And then Friday, I only have one class, LRW, from 10. No, completely wrong. I'm lying. I don't have it at 10. I have it from 1:45 until 3:10, which is such a weird time. I'm like, why do I have a class on Friday from 1:45 to 3:10? Like, I can't do anything.
One class.
Yes, and it's just like that random time. I'm like, if I ever wanted to like catch a flight, I don't know when I would do it.
Yeah.
It's such a random time. So yeah, that's my only Friday class though.
Wow. I have 3 classes on Fridays.
Really?
And when I'm done, I am like so unbelievably ready for the weekend.
Yeah.
Why it's like difficult for me to like force myself to do work on a Friday afternoon.
Yep.
Because I think that for a lot of people, that's kind of like when they would get a lot of their work done. Like, okay, I have, this chunk, and then my weekend can start, and then probably get some work done a little bit on Saturday, a little bit on Sunday. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to, like, I just physically cannot like get myself to keep sitting at my desk because I've had class from 9 to 4:30 p.m. So I'm just like,
and you get out at 4:30. So you have like a whole like work day. That's like really a whole work day on Friday. That's crazy. Yeah, I would know that. I would hate. I'm not gonna lie, because on Fridays I can still like wake up, do what I want, like run errands and stuff, clean up, whatever, and then just have that one class and then go back to like, doing whatever. But all day on a Friday, no. I guess it's getting you ready for work.
Right. Our civil procedure professor explained it to us that the reason why they loaded us up so much on class time was because we're doing 70 minutes extra per week than what the ABA requires for us to do of class time. Okay. 70 minutes a week. That's over an hour. Okay. Anyway, let me not get too bad. But 70 minutes per week extra. And that's because they were afraid that maybe we would have to cancel like, a couple days or a week of class in case anything crazy happened. Mm-hmm. So that way we would be like extra, like we would have a cushion if we had to
because you're learning. Yeah, because if you have like a 2-hour class or like you're meeting all this time, like you're probably learning a lot though. Like when does your semester end? Let me ask you that. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, so my technically all classes end November 13th, and my last final will be November 23rd. So I'll be all finished before Thanksgiving.
That's why. Okay, I see the difference now. Yeah, we're not done until like I think the day before Thanksgiving break, and then I have a final on December 7th, December I don't know. Like I have 3 finals in December, like between the 7th and the 19th. I can't remember the exact days, but yeah. So I'm not done until December, like right before Christmas.
That's crazy because I have a 2-month long winter break.
Almost. Yeah, we have 1 month. That's crazy. So it's so crazy how different this stuff really is. I wonder if it's like an East Coast, West Coast thing, an Emory, UCLA thing. People like, if you're a 1L2, comment down below. Let us know.
Yeah.
Like, how was your schedule? How was this?
I would love to know because because of that, and so the thing is that obviously professors are like, that's not enough time that's not enough of a reading period. Like they were giving us like 2 days of a reading period, which is like, it doesn't even make any sense because my classes were supposedly supposed to end on the 13th. And then my first exam is the 16th. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's not a reading period. A reading period should at least be like, a week or a weekend at the very least. Literally something. So most of the professors have recognized that and have instead just decided to end classes sooner than what the, official last day of class is supposed to be. Okay. So they're speeding through this material. And I'm afraid, I'm like, these are bar exam, required classes. Like, I hope I'm not getting shorthanded. On some of this information that I'm going to need. Like I'm finishing contracts next week. I'm finishing Civ Pro next week.
Next week? I'm looking at my calendar. Next, like October?
Yes. By Halloween, I'm going to be done with pretty much all of my classes except for torts.
Okay, but when did you start? This is so crazy.
I started August 18th, August 17th.
Oh, so we started at the same time.
And I've been like a little hamster getting through all this material.
What?
Yeah.
I cannot wait to talk to you after the end of the semester. I cannot wait to have this conversation again. Okay.
They're like, I don't know what I just wrote.
Yeah, okay. So, but you're so busy with classes though. Have you had time to be involved in anything else?
Yeah, that's been, I will say that's been like I don't know if that's like the psychological part where it's been really hard to be like, okay, am I doing enough? Because I am involved in a couple societies, like obviously Black Law Students Association. I'm in the Sports and Entertainment Law Association. So like I'm in different societies, but I am 1L rep for Sports and Entertainment Law Society. But besides that, I don't feel like I'm not doing any community service right now, which is like, in undergrad, that was so invested in community service. I was just trying to be, as involved as I could be. And so now I can't really invest my time in anything else because it's like, realistically, I don't want to devote myself to anything where I can't give like a good effort into. So it would be wasting not only my time, but other people's time. And that was my fear. And so a lot of this has been just like trying to accept the fact that like what I'm doing is enough for right now to just survive at least. Mm-hmm. And it's not even just extracurriculars. It's like even just the academic stuff. It's like like we were talking about before, I really wish I had realized that I didn't have to do as much reading as I was doing before. And this is not to say you shouldn't read for your classes. You should read for your classes, but I was trying to read ahead. Like I was trying to use the weekends as time to read ahead. So I was like, okay, I'll try and get like at least up to Wednesday done. That way we'll be good to go, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, perfect. No, you don't first off, you don't read as fast as you think you read. And so you barely get through any material. It's like literally like learning how to read for the first time. And so you don't get through the material as fast as you think. And then on top of that, but as you go, you do get a little quicker. You do kind of learn the ways of like how you should read a case. Briefing becomes, a little bit more natural. You don't have to like force it as much. You can kind of do more in the book than trying to like make sure you type out every little fact of the case to make sure you're super better. Yeah. And you should be using your weekends as time to review. And so I wasted probably, I would say I wasted 2 months of not reviewing over the weekends and instead trying to just be ahead and then thinking I was going to review throughout the week, which
you're tired after class. You're tired. Exactly. Yep. Same page. Definitely on the same page. Okay. So like I don't know. There's probably no differences on that end between like online and hybrid. Like, so all of our events are on Zoom, like every single event, like every meeting, every panel, every like general body meeting, everything is on Zoom. I'm the 1L rep for for the Entertainment Association. I want to apply to be 1L rep for other things, but I don't know, 1L rep doesn't really entail much, and it really is what you want to make out of it. If you want to be extra and plan all these events, you can, but really it's just like sharing stuff. Is that what it is for you? Okay.
It's like being a club promoter out here.
No, literally,
You got
yeah.
the flyer and you're like, hey, 1Ls come through
Yep.
Friday afternoon, some people.
Yep.
So it really is just like sharing flyers, communicating. I do think it's nice because it lets your class, like, you get to, like, other people get to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously not on a deep level, but just in general, like, they'll probably at least see your social profile. They'll get to be like, oh, okay, this person, clearly is, involved, and they're in my class or whatever. And then if they take it upon themselves to reach out to you and talk to you or whatever, or if you end up in the same society. So I think that's cool about being a 1L rep, and definitely just being more connected to 2Ls and 3Ls has been the biggest benefit, I would say. I think in any society that you decide to join, like, it literally doesn't matter what society you decide to join. If you end up on the executive board for it as a 1L rep, that gives you connections to 2Ls and 3Ls who are really in the process that you're going to be starting to think about, like going into the winter when you're trying to apply for internships and stuff. And they can give you some really good advice on, like, interviewing, who to talk to, who to go to in career services, just resources in general. They give you outlines. Like, that's been probably the biggest kind of benefit of being involved in these groups. So if you don't join anything, it's kind of hard to get those extra resources. You kind of have to start from scratch on a lot of things, and that's one way to lose a lot of time.
Yeah. So, like, do you guys ever have, since you are hybrid though, is anything ever in person or no? Okay, it's still every activity is still Zoom. Okay, that makes sense.
I will say, like, school funded, schools, promoted events are on Zoom. But if societies take it upon themselves to, like, meet in person, they'll probably do, like, Piedmont Park or something like that, and try and do some sort of socially distanced thing. But
Okay. So, like, and then career services, have you already talked to them? Like, how are they operating?
I forgot to add that for the first 6 weeks of class, I was also taking a career development class. So they had us taking once a week, every Wednesday.
Okay.
Taking this 1 credit pass-fail career development class, which we will take again next semester, but that'll be professionalism, or an introduction to professionalism. And this was my biggest strife with Emory, actually, was making us take this 1 credit class, which, okay, I don't mind because it's getting us prepared to be in that mindset of, like, okay, you're going to have to be, make sure your grades are good because soon you're going to be applying for jobs, and be on the lookout for, certain OCI events or whatever. Like, they keep us, it's like a nice little reminder in the back of your mind that, like, this is real life. Like, you're about to apply for a job. You're not just like, this is not some, like, weird, like, it's not just like a random, like, graduate degree. Like, you're really, like, trying to get a job. So, but then they had us doing things like, okay, submit a resume, like, do it the way that we told you to do it, submit a resume by next class, or do 3 pretend cover letters, like 1 to a judge for a clerkship, 1 to a big firm, and 1 to a public interest organization. And so, yes, these are definitely things that, like, would be useful, practicing, and you get feedback on it and stuff. But I don't have time to write 3 pretend cover letters for you, especially when I don't necessarily feel like, I'm not straight out of undergrad, but I've only had a year and a half out of undergrad, and I was waitressing. So I don't feel like I have really a lot yet to talk about in a cover letter. They're like, talk about your strengths and weaknesses, what you've done in law school.
I haven't done anything. I've been here 2 weeks.
You want me to tell you all about how I'm struggling and, like, what? So I think that was my biggest strife with that, was, like, having to do this class every single week for 6 weeks straight and having an assignment due every single time. And they'd be like, some people just took it upon themselves to be like, I'm not turning it in. Like, I don't even care. They can, whatever. Like, I don't care. But then they would contact the students and be like, you need to, And so they're like, oh my gosh, like, y'all are really taking this serious.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so no, we did not have that. None of that happened. We do have career services. I have already like talked to the people in career services. They did require us to like send in a resume for review, and then they have like they had attorneys review ours, so like an
Oh,
actual
cool.
attorney actually reviewed mine, and I talked to her or whatever. And then I signed up for like 2 mock interviews with 2 different firms. I think one is private practice, one is a big firm, obviously. But like yeah, everything's on Zoom. We've had like orientation or whatever via Zoom. So
Hmm.
yeah, everything's been via Zoom. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't. I guess we can have conversations about like careers and all that because we won't. We don't know that information right now. So, but
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So last couple of questions. Have you taken midterms? And then like, how were your midterms set up? Were they in person? Were they on Zoom?
So I've only had one midterm, and that was for torts. A different contracts professor had, like, from a different section, she had a midterm for contracts as well. So some students had to do a torts midterm and a contracts midterm, but all 1Ls did torts at the very least.
Okay.
And that was set up like a take-home exam. They did it on the electronic blue book, so that's the way we submitted it, which was just like this. It's like this system where we will take all of our exams, being online. And when you're doing like the actual exam administered through the EBB, that's when they'll like, I think, like block your computer and all this stuff, like trying to make sure you're not going on the internet and stuff. But we didn't do that for the midterm. We just had to download the document like once it was open. So like at 3 o'clock on Friday, it was open, and then you click on it, you download it or whatever. And the professor was like, you can just do it straight on the Word document. So we, it was one question, or like one hypothetical situation. And basically you have to make sure you just touch on all the issues, spot all the issues, and analyze make sure you identify the rules for those issues and analyze it.
Okay. Yep. Same thing.
And yeah, then you had an hour to do it. Submitted it. So I just basically like save the document, send it back in through the EVB, and that was it. Yeah, nothing crazy. It was pretty good.
Did you have like a blind ID?
Yes.
Okay. So they didn't know it was yours. Like they just knew it was like a student's, but it didn't. Okay. Okay. The same thing.
And we were given our numbers before, and then you just like put your blind ID number on the document, like when you save it, so that way you like don't save it under your name or anything.
Okay. Yep. Same. So like your finals are going to be like proctored though. Like they are going to like shut down your computer and stuff. See, I don't think UCLA has that.
That's what well, nothing has been official yet, and that's also been kind of like weird because every single professor, like obviously we're 3 weeks out from our very first exam, and everyone's like, okay, like what do I need to prepare for? Do I need something on my computer? Am I going to be able to, because the thing is, what everyone wants to know is, do they need to have their notes printed out, or can we just have them on our computer? Because if you can have them on your computer, you can copy and paste a lot of stuff, which would be an issue, you would think. But if they don't have it, then I guess that's open game for everyone, or a fair game for everyone. So I'm just like, so people are trying to ask these questions, and the professors are like, well, we don't really know yet. We don't know how it's going to be proctored, just stay tuned. And I'm like, guys, time is ticking,
Y'all are close.
So close.
Yeah.
So I can't say officially how it's going to be, but I'll definitely keep you all updated on what it's looking like.
Yeah, definitely. So like I only had one midterm. It was civil procedure. It was literally just like go into our little portal. The exam was there. You download it. You type your answer on a piece of paper, put your blind ID, submit it back. Save it as a PDF, submit it back. Like it was nothing more to it. They didn't review ours though. I know you were telling me earlier that they actually like reviewed yours individually. Like my professor, he didn't actually review them individually. He did a review session for like an hour. And then like I set up time personally with him to like go over my exam or whatever, but he didn't actually go over it on his own. It was like, I'm going to give you guys general comments and you figure out what you did wrong. So yeah. And then our finals, from my understanding, I think it's just open book completely, like whatever, because I don't think they found anything that they liked to like monitor our computers right now, but I don't know. We have until December, so that could definitely change.
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, the gag is that I don't even have that towards midterm back yet anyway, so I don't even know how I did on it, which will be so funny because I bet that professor is a bit of a quack, so I feel like he might just keep it until like the week before finals, and then he's like, oh, by the way. So all of my classes are going to be open book except for torts, which is so crazy to me because torts has the most rules. So
Is
I
it in
am
person?
going to be. Is it the class in person?
Will the final be in person? That's so okay. I'm not that I would do this, but that's so funny to me because like
Oh,
if the
yeah.
final is online and I'm at home, how are you going to say it's not open book? It's kind of like I'm
And
at
that's what I was thinking about for the for the midterm as well. And like I've just told myself like Rebecca, obviously the easiest thing to do would be to just have your notes,
yeah
but it's the midterm. Just try, because if you don't try now, you won't know, and you won't have that confidence that you could potentially have
yeah
going into the final. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. At the end of the day, it's ungraded anyway. Like it's not even for a
yeah
real grade. So I, stuck to the honor code and didn't have my notes out or anything like that. And I really, luckily, it was on a limited like a limited chapter, so it was easier to memorize the rules in my head and just have them, like I just kind of like put them straight on the page as soon as we were able to, like I didn't even read the thing, but I just like put the rules straight on the page before I read the hypo. But this final is going to be so interesting, and it's going to be really interesting if they don't have a proctoring system to watch people. I don't know if other people are going to, which is really like, I obviously want to stay in my own lane, worry about myself,
yeah.
but it really bugs me because our grades are implicated by other people's.
Exactly. This is not like undergrad. Your grade, you don't need to worry about what everyone else is doing, but what everyone else is doing actually determines your grade, honestly. So it's kind of weird.
And I can say that, yes, I'm obviously going to prepare as best as I can and everything like that. But you can't help but think in the back of your mind, like, so is everybody really going to not have their notes out? Like I want to do the right thing and everybody else. So, needless to say, I'm going to just focus on myself and make sure I prepare enough where I don't need to have extra resources. Right. But I just really hope that other people also do that. But yeah, this is a savage world. Law school is like the epitome of savagery. So if other people just might do what they have to do to get theirs.
Yeah, seriously.
Scary thought.
So with that, do you have any final thoughts, final comments, anything you're looking forward, not looking forward to in law school?
Yeah, so I would say I'm looking forward to next semester, and I actually might go completely online. I haven't decided fully yet. We had to do we had to sign up for our electives, or like give them a preference list of our electives, and then kind of indicate if we were going to be online or in person next semester. And they said, like, if you indicate that you want to be in person, you can change it to being fully online anytime, but you can't start out online and then change to being in person because it will mess up everything else. So I went ahead and just said I'll be in person tentatively, but I'm considering being fully online because they changed next semester where every single class that you have, like, so each subject you have will either be fully in person or fully online. So different from this semester where I'm kind of like, every class I take, some days I'm in person, some days I'm not. Like my criminal class will be completely in person or completely online, and then the same for all the other subjects. But because of the legal writing professor that I have, I will only have 2 classes in person if I chose in person. And that would be my elective and my legal writing class. And in my opinion, legal writing could be taught online. Yeah. It is not a class that necessarily I don't think you benefit more from being in person, is what I'm saying. So given that, and then the elective, I really don't see myself just going to campus for 2 classes. And I don't even know, I think it might just be like twice a week. So I think obviously they did it because they felt like this would be less confusing for professors and students this way, but it means we're on in person less. So I don't know if I like that.
Right. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure UCLA will be online next semester again, fully online, just because it's LA and completely different. California is completely different than Georgia. We'll just leave that there. So yeah. So pretty sure we'll be online again. But if you guys are in person, I definitely feel like I would do the in-person option, just because like I feel like sitting in this house is driving me crazy. But it also could be because LA is also so shut down. Atlanta is not shut down anymore. Atlanta was not shut down when I was living there. There was stuff going on in Atlanta. Everything was open in Atlanta when I was there in June. So yeah, it's just two completely different situations. Because like I feel like if I was in Atlanta, even if I was fully online, I would still be out and about in general. If I'm being honest, like I would just be doing more, so I wouldn't be as like stuck in this freaking house all the time. So
And that's the thing. That's why I was like, okay, I will still have access to the library. That's the other thing about the hybrid. So we can go to the library and we have to go into the system online and schedule a particular table. So every table only has one chair. Only one person can be at every table. They have like standing desks. They have regular tables, big tables, round tables, booths, whatever. And so you go into the system and you have to do it like a day in advance. And basically just schedule that like seat, table, whatever for 2 hours at a time. So if I do get kind of stir crazy in my apartment, if I do go fully online next semester, I can at least shake it up by going to the library every once in a while. But like you said, Atlanta's open, so I can go to coffee shops, which I haven't done, but because I don't really feel like wearing my mask for that long just to be outside and studying. But I live close to a Panera that has like outdoor seating. So if you go to Panera, you can go do different things. So it definitely, it depends on where you're trying to be and what outside is looking like there.
Our library isn't even open though. Like UCLA's library isn't even open. Like nothing. Yeah, so it's just like a completely different situation. I'm glad we did this video because I think a lot of people, I think even next fall, some people will still be having this conversation about online or hybrid, especially depending on where you're at. So I think it's good for people just to be like aware of like what situation you could run into. And then I know some law schools in general were always online. So, you're considering all these different options, in person, hybrid, online.
Yeah.
Definitely some good insight. But yeah, I don't have any other questions. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is really interesting for me. Like I feel like
we were both just like, what?
Exactly. So I'm pretty sure other people will be interested too. But yeah, definitely appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, guys, all of that. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.
Bye.